Hi there, Damien here. I'm a public speaking and performance coach, and I'm providing you tips to help you overcome any public speaking nerves or anxiety before a speech or a presentation. One of the things that's really important when we're giving a speech, especially if we suffer from public speaking anxiety, is to shift the focus on yourself, and I've mentioned this in many videos, shift the focus from being about yourself to being about the audience. And a really quick way of doing this is asking the question, in my presentation or my speech or my performance, how can I serve the audience? That should be your primary question when going into any presentation or speech. Now let's say you're scheduled to give a Zoom call and you have to present some information, some data to a dozen people on a Zoom call. There's going to be lots of people watching you, watching your slides, watching your presentation. Now, as I've mentioned, when the focus is on ourselves, that can be quite daunting. Everyone's looking at us, they're looking at maybe what I'm wearing, am I styled correctly, is my speech clear? That can be quite anxiety-provoking, that focus. But if before the presentation you ask yourself, how can I serve the audience? In what ways can I serve my audience? Okay? And that will not only shift your focus from the anxiety-driven images of it all being about yourself, it will shift it to a focus that is much more, what some people might say, client-focused or customer-focused or audience-focused. Just asking that simple question, how can I serve the audience? That will open up a myriad of ideas of how you can make sure that your speech is clear, that it's concise, that it's to the point. If you think about yourself as being in a position of service, that makes it easier to know what your objectives are. You don't have to think about, have I covered everything? Have I missed out everything? You can say, have the audience, will they have understood the point? Have I made the data clear enough for the audience? Will the audience have been inspired by this? Will the audience have remained engaged by this part? How can I make their learning experience more exciting, more interesting? Now often, one of the reasons that we dread presentations and we dread going to presentations is because often the speaker doesn't think about how they can serve the audience. They think about, how can I talk at the audience for half an hour, or even longer? As some of us are sat there and it's literally death by PowerPoint or death by Zoom, as we listen to somebody go on and on about certain things, they're not necessarily clarifying any points, they're not necessarily asking us if we have any questions. They're just kind of engaging in this kind of monologue, and that can be quite difficult to sit through. But if the speaker were to approach the speech from the point of view of how can I serve, then they would be thinking, right, do I need to stop at certain points to give people a chance to consolidate their learning? Do I need to insert questions earlier than I thought because this part of the presentation is quite heavy? And so at this point, maybe there's some questions that I need to make sure that people understand before I move on. Do I need more visuals? You know, when you think about how you can serve your audience, questions like, what kind of learner are they? Not everybody likes to be talked at for 45 minutes or an hour. Do I need pictures? If I'm doing the best man speech, do I need photos? Do I need to insert stories? We all like to hear stories, funny, interesting stories. Maybe I could start with an anecdote or a story about something that relates to this presentation. So that is a real fundamental question, a really important question to ask yourself. How can I serve the audience here? And that will help you not only with your nerves, not only with your anxiety, but it will help you to break up and structure your speech in a way that the audience hopefully will find interesting and engaging. So think about service as being your primary intention when you are giving your speech. Now, of course, you may have other intentions to close a deal or to convey information for a project or to pass a final exam in a college or university test. And that is absolutely, fine, those objectives. But those objectives should all work alongside your primary objective of how can I serve the audience. If the audience is an examiner, for example, examining you for a final college exam, think about explaining that information that they will already know in a way that's new and fresh. In that way, you're serving them, the person that's probably sat through 50, 100 of these, thousands of these types of lectures. You're presenting it in a way that's new and fresh. You're presenting it in a way that's concise. You're presenting it in a way that's different. And it's all about serving. Okay? So, I'm going to leave it there. Ask yourself this question before any of your presentations. How can I serve my audience? Thank you. Please like and subscribe and comment on this video if you find it helpful. Please stay tuned for more tips, and I will be uploading my online course very soon. And the course will be designed to help you really before a presentation or a speech overcome any anxiety, and I'm going to go into that in more detail in future videos. Thank you.